Hi, hello, Luna Mars here, and we are back to a story beside. We were gonna go take a walk. Got a lot on our mind. We're gonna go talk to people. Donovan, honestly, I can't believe this is even up for debate. You know how much this place means to Fireside. Of course, Molly, but the lyric. Pleasant evening, isn't it? Sure. Yeah. What were you two talking about? Oh, it's nothing. Well, nothing you need to bother yourself with. At least, not yet, anyway. Maybe now's the perfect time. No sense putting off our decision. It's about the old apothecary. Come, Lyric. We can explain everything once we're inside. So this all started with William. He was working up in the windmill and noticed one of the seals was in poor condition. Of course, we all know how much we rely on that windmill. Ridge barley alone is essential to our village, our livestock, our vitals. Right, so we know the windmill needs repairs, and apparently it's not as simple as pounding in a few nails. We can keep the sails turning a few more years with some basic repairs, but for long-term fix, we'll need quality materials. Okay, I'm following so far. Are those expensive? Significantly. More coins than any of us have lying around. So that's when Donovan suggested the unthinkable. This old place. It's filled with goods and ingredients Joseph and Imelda left behind. We decided to never sell them because if anyone were to move in here, a new proprietor of the shop, they need the supplies. But it's been over a decade since Joseph passed away. And in all that time, we haven't received a single inquiry about the shop. Let me make sure I have this straight. Selling off all this old inventory would fund the windmill repairs. But no one else could move in. We'd be giving up on the apothecary ever opening its doors again.
Oh.
Exactly. It would be a big empty building. Nothing more. And if we don't sell, is there any other way we could scrounge up enough coins for the repairs? We're open to ideas, but I wouldn't have suggested this if I thought we'd had any other options. Well, there might be one. The merchant up at the inn, Thomas, he asked me to marry him earlier tonight. I haven't given him an answer yet. Marry him? What in the blazes are you talking about? I know it sounds crazy, and he does too, but he's not light on coin. Maybe if I say yes, he'd be willing to pay for the repairs. Young lady, you are not marrying someone to pay for windmill repairs. We'll find another way, even if we do have to sell the apothecary. You don't need to find the coins all on your own, Lyric. We should make this decision together as a village. Clearly you know where the two of us stand, and Miles has remained impartial as usual. It seems you have the deciding vote. Oh, hmm. Um, I mean, I don't think we should sell the inventory. It's possible someone will want to buy this place someday.
Perhaps it was foolish holding on to sentiment like that. Selfish, even. But the apothecary held a piece of my childhood. The lingering scent of Imelda's fragrance oils. Colourful little jars Joseph had meticulously labelled and set on display so many years ago. I wasn't ready to sell it all away.
Okay. Trying to clear my head, not have more problems. Oh there, Lyric. How can I help you? Don't tell me those adventurers need something from the shop this late. No, nothing like that. I'm just out for a leisurely stroll. I felt like I needed to clear my head. Oh, do I know the feeling? Perhaps it's the time of year, or perhaps I'm getting old. But my mind is a jumble lately. Just the other day I called my sweet Dawn or Cozy by mistake. The little mutt hasn't been around in over a decade. I mean, that's ridiculous, Mr. Miles. I would have loved to see the look on Kelsey's face.
Yeah.
I do believe she's used to it by now. She's much more patient with me these days than she was as a child, that's for sure. I won't keep you, Lyric, but I wish you luck with whatever it is that's weighing on your mind. Thanks, Mr. Miles. Good night to you. Okay. Let's go down this way, I guess. Molly always manages to get her flowers garden to bloom. Year after year, I should ask her for tips sometime. Anybody home or let's see, another solstice gone, another year without any sign. Fire lights in the mountains. These small enchanted fairy lights were a staple of northern life for centuries, till recent events appeared to drive them out of the realm completely. Now, 14 years after the last confirmed sighting, even the most stalwart believers are beginning to doubt they are ever coming back, says archive scholar Amount of Natum Pura. The lights were a unique phenomenon created under an incredibly strange and specific set of circumstances. Anyone who believed their magic would last forever was simply fooling themselves. What does this person know about anything? I'm sure the Pylites will come back some. Alright. Lyric, oh wow, I'm happy to see you. I need your help.
Oh.
Hazel, isn't it past your bedtime? Does your mom know you're still up at this hour? This is important, I promise. So the king's brother is jealous because he wants to be the king. He's really smart and kind of mean, and he thinks he deserves power. That's when he makes friends with another kingdom, scary dwarves from the underground, and they get ready to take over by force. Hazel, you're up this late writing another story. Yeah, but I have this really big problem with how to end it.
Growing up, I was the little sister, the shy one among the village kids. Before Hazel, I never had anyone looking up to me. The constant question in her eyes, the way she'd glance for my approval in moments of doubt, it was exhilarating and terrifying. When someone hangs on your every word, well, you owe it to them to choose those words carefully.
See, I'm stuck there. Okay, so the king has driven all the dwarves from the keep, and it's finally time to deal with his mean brother. But how? The way I see it, you have two options. An emotional ending, where the king has to come to terms with his brother's betrayal, or a light-hearted ending, more like a fairy tale. The king forgives his brother, and everyone learns a valuable lesson. Well, which one should I pick? It's your story, Hazel. I don't want to finish it for you, but if I was the one writing, we would go emotional. I go emotional. I think after the king's long journey, his story needs a dramatic gut punch of an ending. Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna try that. Thanks, Lyric. Okay. Just wanna... Okay. So I guess she has Graham's room. Okay. It was so sweet of Graham to give up his bedroom to his little sister, although secretly I think he likes sleeping up in his loft. Okay. So Graham sleeps over here now. Maybe we'll go down this way.
Oh,
Minnow, that has to be you, right? You're getting better at that. What gave me away? Well, you and Kelsey have the same soft footfalls. But her perfume is obnoxiously strong. You can smell it across the village on a breezy day. Don't be mean. She's doing me a big favor watching the inn tonight. I needed to get out and get some air. Oh, Minnow, I'm sorry. I should have come home to help. I'll go there now to relieve our fragrant friend.
oh.
Are you, can you work the bar, I mean? I'm blind, Lyric, not useless. Give me a little credit. You know, I grew up in the Sleepy Dragon, too. Pretty sure I could handle serving some tipsy adventurers for one night. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have doubted you. I just don't want you to push yourself. That's all. Kelsey doesn't mind helping out from time to time. Fair enough. How about a walk then? A pleasant stroll down to the old bridge with your sister? Yeah, okay. That sounds nice. Need some help getting up? Minnow, you're doing it again. You have no idea how humiliating it is to being coddled by your little sister. Right, sorry. After you then. Are you serious? Not saying you're not a catch, but a marriage proposal seems completely out of the blue. Tell me about it. I thought he was joking. It's not like Thomas and I ever have ever. I mean, he's never said anything before. Well, how did you react? What did you say? It all happened very fast. I told him I needed to think it over. Minnow, you have a boyfriend. Surely you said that, at least. I told you it happened very fast. Graham isn't really my boyfriend anyway. We've never put that label on it. Oh, I know. The two of you move slower than snow plant. But you're not going to lead that poor boy on with years of flirty letters and moonlit strolls and then turn around and marry someone else. Obviously, Thomas he put me on the spot, that's all. What about you, Isla? You seem to be in better spirits lately. I suppose that's true. I feel like I've been getting stronger every day. It's taken ages, but I'm starting to feel like myself again. It's what the clerics told you to expect, right? That your recovery could take years. Yes, and it certainly has. Thank you, Minnow, for being so patient with me. It isn't fair that you've been taking care of the end all on your own. Don't be stupid. We're sisters. You do the same for me. Well, I owe you, and I won't forget. Okay. Oh, let's go down this way. Fern, would have rather said this in person, but I reckon you've gone off into the woods again. Me and the other townsfolk really appreciate what you do out here. We've all noticed the changes in Fireside over the last few years, and losing dear old Elspeth hasn't helped any. It's been nice being able to count on you through these uncertain times. I know you said you've always felt like something of an outsider, but truly you're the only one thinking that. In the spirit of counting blessings, you should know we all consider you one of them. William. Alright, so he's not home. Oh, there he is. Lyric, keep quiet. See that creature down there? Oh, what is it? I've never seen anything like that before. If I'm not mistaken, it's a carbuncle. The gem in its forehead gives it away. Magical and elusive creatures from the far north. It's been a long time since... Leave it, Jax. It's alright, boy. Well, it was bound to happen. It's rare to see a carbuncle at all, given how cautious and skittish they are.
Oh.
Then I guess we should count ourselves lucky? Unfortunately, no. I don't think we should. I fear this may bode ill for Pyreside. If a carbuncle has ventured this far south, so far from its native tundras, it must have a good reason. Something sinister spreading its influence, claiming dominion over lands that once belonged to innocent magical creatures. The shadow? This mountain has remained relatively quiet since the first storm over a decade ago, but I fear it won't stay that way forever. You deal with adventurers, no doubt you've heard the rumors from the north. Foreboding rumors they are, more and more each season. Phantom enemies can't be killed. Hardy mountain folk not far from here abandoning their homes and fleeing to the capital. Yeah, I've heard rumors. I was hoping that's all they were. At the very least, we should consider that Pyreside might not be the safe haven we'd all like it to be. Keep your eyes open, Lyric. I will. Take care, Bern. Alright. That's unfortunate. But that, like, little kitty cat. Hey there, kitty. Good to see you again. I know I've been telling you this for years, but you don't have to beg for food here on the edge of the woods. You'd only come up to the inn. There's food, blankets, a warm fireplace to sleep next to. Nothing's going to hurt you, I promise. Oh, is this finally the day? You want to come with me? Okay, we'll go straight home. I don't want to spook you, so no extra stops along the way. Alrighty. That, kitty cat. Right home. There you go. There, clean drinking water and a fish fillet for dinner. You're a lucky kitty. Grim just caught that perch fresh this morning. Oh, maybe you should have a name? I've just been calling you Kitty all these years. Yeah, we'll name. Okay, let's think. Mango. Nutmeg. Ember. We'll do Ember. Vote Ember. You look like an Ember. You should be comfortable here. If you need anything, just howl. It'll be nice having such an adorable friend around the inn. We're turning into a cat lady. Yeah. We'll change. Lucy calls this color salmon. Doesn't make much sense to me, but she's the expert, as she constantly reminds me. Alrighty. I kind of want to go up on the hill to see if William's. That's like our spot. Those adventurers are clearly having a deep, heartfelt conversation. I should leave them to it. Alright. That fresh air feels good, doesn't it? I love standing up here by the overlook and feeling the breeze after a long day. Yeah, it does feel nice. I don't do it often enough. Well, little Eric, you can surely be forgiven for that. Graham tells me you've been swamped these past few weeks. But do appreciate it when you can. I reckon there's not many villagers in the entire realm that have a view like ours. Okay. But, like I believe Kelsey's old ghost stories anymore about why I tempt fate, especially at night. Alright, I think I'll go to the creepy windmill, I guess.
Yeah.
Wonder where Graham is. She's naughty. I feel like you talk to him. I feel like, are you gonna marry the merchant?
Oh,
Told you about that. Come on, kid, you really thought it would stay a secret? Such juicy gossip here in our little village. I once fell off my old step ladder, and Molly showed up with a sympathy card before I hit the ground. Yeah, I take your point. Well, I'm obviously not going to marry him. Me and Graham are still, we're still together.
Huh?
I was wondering that, but thought it might be rude to ask. You two aren't big on displays of affection, are you? No, I guess not. You really didn't know? Doesn't mean anything, Lyric. I've had relationships of my own I didn't know were happening. I can be a little oblivious. But do me a favor. Don't tell Brianna I said that. You got it, Isaac. I won't. Okay. Hey, Graham popped in a few minutes ago looking for you. What do you want? It seem important? Not only am I doing your job for you, now you're asking me to be your personal secretary. I don't have any idea what he wanted. Right, sorry. I suppose I'll go find him. You're okay here? Sure, as long as it stays slow. I can stand here and look pretty forever if that's all you need me to do. Okay. Taking a break once in a while is good for the soul. Remember that, barkeep. Alright. There you are, Lyric. I was looking for you. Yeah, Kelsey told me. What's going on? Is everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine. It's not that. There's just something I've been meaning to talk to you about. Something important. Be more cryptic. Sheesh. Graham, what is it? Sorry, I'm not trying to be cryptic, but will you meet me down by the lake shore? I know it's late to be going that deep in the woods. But I promise there's a reason. Okay. The lake shore? Yeah, I can meet you there. Thanks, Lyric. I'll be waiting by the water. You're not thinking of saying yes, are you? To Thomas? Of course not. I'm yours, Graham. I'm not going to run off and marry someone else. What kind of girl would that make me? Yeah, right. Yeah, that's good. So, barkeep, I think I owe you an apology. What do you mean? When I was flirting with you earlier, I didn't realize I was encroaching on a love triangle straight out of a romance novel. Clearly you have a lot going on. Mr. Handsome Merchant wants you to be his wife, and Mr. Handsome Farm Boy isn't happy about it.
Oh.
What? No, that's not really it. Well, I don't need all the colorful details, and I certainly don't mean to pry, but my drink offer still stands. How about this? That old windmill on the cliff. That's where I'll be. I bought a bottle of rose wine, and I have plenty to share. No obligations or no pressure. If you want to swing by for a drink before you go meet Mr. Handsome Farm Boy, you're most welcome. I don't know. I think we're just gonna go see Graham. I just don't know what that will do. Like, if we'll, like, miss our appointment with Graham or not. So, I think we're just gonna go see Graham. Oh. They're just hanging out. Looking for Graham, no doubt. Be careful down by the water. Never know what might be lurking in the dark. Thanks for coming, Lyric. Sorry, I know it's late, but I have something I've been wanting to talk to you about for a long time. Spill it then. Quit being so mysterious. Right, okay. Sorry. Do you think I should grow out my beard like my dad's, or leave it clean shaven? My stubble's starting to get long and scratchy.
Oh.
Are you serious? That's what's so important? Of course not. That's just a little joke to lighten the tension, although it is something I've been wondering about. I like I like beardy guys, so I think you should grow it out. You would look really handsome with a nice, well-groomed beard. Good to know. Thanks, Lyric. But yeah, I did want to talk to you about something important out on the lake if we could. In the dark, you think that's a good idea? We'll be okay, I promise, but you have to close your eyes, and you can't look until I tell you. Come on, Lyric, you trust me, don't you? Yeah, I trust you. Okay, open your eyes. Oh my goodness. A fire on the water. Graham, it's beautiful. I'm speechless. Did you do all this? Well, I had a little help. Isaac and Brianna offered the materials, and Hazel was incredibly excited to put them all together. She, got it in her head that if she helped me out with these lanterns, it would help you become her sister, officially. Oh, I'm not planning to, I wasn't planning to jump straight to marriage from wherever we are, wherever we've been. But I guess that's the point. I've been dragging my feet, and it's time to tell you how I truly feel, how committed I am to you. Do you remember the King's Day festival when a frog jumped straight out of the river and onto Kelsey's plate? We were 15. He was so disgusted. I've never heard anyone scream louder. Even Isla was too grossed out to touch the thing. But you were concerned about the safety of that frog more than anything else. You snatched it away from Kelsey's flailing arms. Even though everyone else was flipping out, you were so careful and gentle with that little creature. I must have been terrified. You set it back down near the water, washed off your hands, and came back to the feast with this serene smile on your face. I love you, Lyric. I have ever since you picked up that frog. Sure. Graham, I feel the same way. I loved you for a long, long time.
I'll never forget that night out on the water. The way Graham smiled at me, starlight reflected in his blue eyes, nighttime breeze tousling his careless dark hair. The memory makes my heart flutter. All these years later, it's how I see him still. How I'll forever see him.
We should get back. I'll walk you home. Graham, Uh-oh. Lyric, stay behind me. We need to be careful. Is that an oryx? Yeah, but it's not one of ours. Look at its eyes. That's why they call shadow sickness, isn't it? Hey there, friend. We don't mean you any harm, okay? We're just trying to get home. I promise we won't. Man. Lyric, run, find burn. Okay. Goodness. Graham, son, are you alright? Lyric, help me get him to my cabin. I have salves and bandages there. Once he comes to, we can take him back up to the village.
Deep down, we'd all known it a good while, but that night brought our fears out into the open. Parasite wasn't the quiet sanctuary of the past any longer. The shadow was spreading across the north, a ghastly chill we could feel in our bones. Our only shred of hope fell upon those adventurers still brave enough to seek the mountain pass. We needed them, and they in turn needed a kind face and a warm bed. I saw the sleepy dragon for what it was then, I suppose, for the first time in my life. A haven for heroes in their darkest hour. I found a renewed pride each time I put a log on the fire or a kettle on the stove. And with Graham at my side, I was certain that whatever lay ahead, I wouldn't be facing it alone.
All right. So, we ignored Claire's flirting. We helped Hazel write an emotional story. We didn't do the apothecary. We went on a lake with Graham. We adopted the stray cat. We told Graham to grow out his beard. We stayed away from the windmill, and we turned down Thomas's proposal. Hey. Seven years later.
Fireside was changing, icing over. That year brought sheets of frozen rain like none we'd seen. Certainly not in the summers of my youth. Under overcast skies, I clung to what graces had always given me comfort. The sturdy shoulder of a loyal husband. The love of a dear sister. Friendships formed over decades of shared memories. Bonds that deepen in the rain.
Oh!
Little Eric, here you are. Pretty lousy day to be out and about, don't you think? Bet it is, Mr. William. But I'm starting to get used to the rain. A warm woolen cloak certainly helps. Is everything okay? Was someone looking for me? Yep. Our old friend Thomas is back in town and brought something specifically for you. Well, you and Bern, a special surprise. Last time Thomas had a surprise for me, it was a marriage proposal. I reckon you'll like this one a fair bit better. Why don't you go see for yourself? He's down at Bern's Cap. Okay, I'll do that. Thanks, Mr. William. Okay. Let's go see what the sunflowers aren't much to look at these days. It's far too cold and damp for them to fully bloom. Let's see what Thomas has for us. Hopefully it's not another cat, because I don't want to be a cat lady just yet. Oh, Lyric, it's so good to see you after all these seasons away. You've been well, I hope? It's good to see you too, Thomas. I've been mostly well, grateful for good health, even through all this freezing rain. Wish I had better news, but it's the same all across the north. I've just come from the river wilds where entire pastures are underwater. I'm glad you and Pyreside are hanging in there at the very least. Yeah, well, we do our best. What else can we do? I brought you something. Perhaps it will help, or at least lift your spirits under such gloomy skies. It's, well, it's a little hard to explain. Why don't we head inside so I can show you?
Once in a while, someone special comes into your life and changes everything you thought you knew about the world. Reaches into your heart and reveals unspoken truths about love and laughter and friendship and loss. Occasionally, that someone has furry ears, 4 legs, and a tail.
Alright, it's a doggy. Oh wow, who are these lovely friends? You're both so adorable. Lyric, I'd like you to meet some new friends of mine. It's, well, sort of a long story. They were entrusted to me by Miller and Phil Ridge. He found these two as pups scrounging for scraps in a nearby alley. Poor creatures were all bone. The woman took them and fed and watered them. She cared for them the best she could in her old age for nearly 3 seasons. But they were growing fast and soon began demanding more time and attention than she had to give. Hard through, she tried. And so when I came upon her, the woman was looking for someone better equipped to take them in and care for them. At first I thought nothing of it, but then I began to wonder. I knew our friend Vern had lost his loyal companion a few years back, and my mind went to you as well, gentle, compassionate Lyric. I thought perhaps you could each give one of them a home. Immediate thoughts? I can find someone else if this proves too much of a burden. I know it isn't something you asked for. Like... Absolutely, yes. Of course I'll take one. Or, as long as that arrangement is okay with Vern. I've already agreed. Reckon it's about time I moved on from old Jax. And these seem like a pair of fine, healthy hounds. So then, I believe the only thing left to decide is which dog is going with whom. Vern said he's happy leaving that up to you, Lyric. Yeah, I'll, take the black one. I'll suppose I'll take this one, if he'll have me, but should we really separate the two of them? I asked the Miller that very question. Apparently this breed does better when they can be the center of attention. Seems like the best option. Why don't you take your friend up to the inn to get settled? I'm sure he'll be excited to see his new home. Yeah, the tan one looks like the other doggy. For Vern. This is your new home, boy. You should be comfortable here. Plenty of room to stretch your legs. Not to mention a kitty friend to play with. Oh, I suppose you need a name, don't you? Elizabeth. Next. Oda? Cinder? Yeah, we're gonna do Cinder. About Cinder. Seems like a good fit. So it's true, we have a new friend in town. Do you have a name, my adorable little pup? Kelsey, meet Cinder. He doesn't seem too fazed by all the new sights and smells.
Oh.
Cinder, pleasure to meet you. Just don't think you can show up and encroach on my territory. I've been Lyric's best friend for ages. Jealous? Don't worry, Kelsey. I won't forget about you. Whatever. You're still planning to fix dinner tonight, right? The whole village is expecting something tasty. Well, it won't be like the festivals we had as kids, but yeah, going to do my best. It's an important day for Pyreside. Good. Well then, I'll be seeing you and your new friend tonight. Alrighty. What do you think, Cinder? Take your time and sniff around as much as you want. We can go for a walk together after dinner. Bella's never been one to make her bed, even back when her eyesight was perfect. It used to drive Lena crazy. I know, I wonder... Liz... I've been doing well keeping up with my diary, so it's probably not too interesting to read through. Let's get changed. Yeah, let's do red. Something a little more bold to fend off this dreary weather. Yeah. I'd have thought Ember would be sleeping right here, or maybe by the fire downstairs. Where has that scamp run off to? Anybody? A lovely view, even in the rain, and nothing is leaking. Knock on wood. Hey. Even though our history is complicated, it's always nice when Thomas visits. I'm happy we stayed friends all these years. My party and I were shocked to discover an inn as spacious and comfortable as the Sleepy Dragon on our quest through this close part of the world. Many similar establishments in the north have long since closed their doors, and so the respite we were provided here came as a welcome surprise. As expected, due to dwindling resources in the mountains, food was plain and luxuries were few, but the innkeeper saw to all our needs, and as such we will depart on the morrow content and well rested. Partly recommend the Sleepy Dragon as a place to rest for any weary adventurer in these dangerous times. Bear Month. Was that really the last time a group of adventurers stayed in this room? These adventurers seem so strange, but maybe that comes with the territory these days. No ordinary person could do what they do. Maybe. Gonna go out. Oh, hey Lyric, I was just destroying your sister's at a game of Peaks and Valleys. She's really awful. Hey Minnow, our dear friend Kelsey knows I can't see, so she's using that to cheat at cards. So much integrity. You think I'm cheating? I've never cheated at anything my whole life. The simple answer is that I'm better than you. Whatever, Kelsey. Either way, I think I need a break. Should I deal you in Lyric? You can try to avenge your fallen sister. Sure. I'll play a couple rounds, but if I win, you better not whine like you always did when we were kids. Remember how to play, right? Basically, you draw one card and then decide if the next card will be higher or lower. If you think the next card will be higher, you say Peak. If you think it'll be lower, you say Valley. Guess right, and you get a point. Oh, and we're using the base deck, so the cards will only be numbered 1 through 9. Got it. I know how to play Peaks and Valleys, Kelsey. Sheesh. That's what your sister said before she lost in spectacular fashion. Ready? We'll play 3 rounds, and because I'm such a kind and well-mannered lady, I'll even let you go first. Okay, gotta start drawing by 1 card. If I think the next card will be higher than 3, I say peak. If I think the next card will be lower, I say valley. I'm gonna say peak. Peak. Definitely going to be higher. If you say so. That's a point for me. Okay, you have 1, I have 0. My turn. Peak. Next one will be higher. That's a point for me. I can't wait to win. My turn. Drawing the first card. That's tough. I'm gonna say peak though. No. Oh, I thought for sure that would be right. Okay, you have 1, I have 1. My turn. Yeah. Another point for me. I'm so good at this. My turn. Okay. So, peak. Yes, another point for me. Okay, you have 2, I have 2. My turn. Easy. Another point for me. And that's 3. Looks like I win. Good attempt, Lyric. You were never gonna beat me, but you tried. Maybe someday you'll be good enough. You are insufferable. You know that, right? Oh, she knows. I've been saying that our entire lives. Okay. Oh, perfect timing, little Lyric. Be a darling and fetch that pail for us. Sooty here is about to burst. This pail? Yes, ma'am, and thank you kindly. Come now, Sooty. I know you're a skittish one, but we've done this dozens of times. Thanks again, little Lyric, always coming to the rescue. Glad you arrived when you did. Orcs get mighty uncomfortable when they need to be milked and no calves around to feed. What happened to our calf? I did what I could for the poor thing, but he didn't make it. Sadly, we're not the only ones struggling with these harsh conditions and bouts of cold weather. The orcs have it tough as anyone. Dear, maybe we should ask her. Wise beyond her years, this one. Oh, I don't know. Reckon I'm not ready to decide quite yet. I reckon the choice will only get harder the longer we put it off. What is it? Something I can help with? Perhaps. As my dear husband said, things haven't been easy for our poor orcs. We're barely harvesting enough to feed ourselves. We want to do right by the creatures, and as such we can't help but wonder if they'd be better off out in the wild. Out on their own. I wish we'd had funds to fix up the old windmill. Without that mill functioning, the orcs have even less to live off. How much worse are things gonna get? I'm already struggling to keep the poor little ones alive. But would they be any better off in the wild? They're domestic beasts. They're not used to having to find their own food. That's the dilemma. Of course, there's a matter of our own prospects. If we send the orcs away, that'll be the end of midnight milk for us. If things don't start looking up soon, that milk could be invaluable. Oh wow, I wish there was a way to ask them. Well, there is. At least somewhat. I suggest that we leave the barn doors open, give them the option to wander off if they get cold or hungry. But William reckons they'll just come right back. This place has been their home for so long they don't know anything else. We want them to stay away, well, and truly away. We'll need to lock them out and board up the barn doors, cruel as that sounds. I've been debating in my head for ages. Do we force them out, or do we do our best to care for them here, knowing things may get worse? I know it's a lot to ask, little Lyric, but what do you think? Man. I'm gonna say we're gonna keep them. Think you should keep the orcs here, or at least give them the option to stay. Seems like they'll be safer in the barn. There's no easy answer, is there? They trust us, and because of that, sometimes it falls on us to make the hard decisions for them. Thank you, little Lyric. Your input is helpful as always. We'll see you at dinner tonight. Looking forward to an evening where the toughest choice to make will be between red or white wine. That sounds nice. See you then, Miss Molly. Mr. William. Okay. What's going on? We can keep selling our blades. We're happy to keep offering them at the normal discount, but that seems like a big if, doesn't it? Understand your hesitation, honestly. I'm unsure I'll be able to find enough buyers this side of Wyvern. Let me think. I should leave them alone for now to talk business. Alrighty. Well, hey there, love. Can't say I was expecting to see you out here, or anyone for that matter. Decided to take a short walk before dinner, but it begs the question, why are you out here? You're not thinking of going out on the lake? Are you serious? And you weren't going to tell me? Graham done it. This is so dangerous. It's cold and windy and pouring rain, and you have no idea what might happen out there by yourself. Perfect conditions for hauling in a lunker. All the biggest fish in this lake are more active in the dark and cold. Listen, I want this dinner to be special. Firelight Festival used to be really important to our village. Don't worry, okay? I'm planning to stay close to the shore, and there's no sense being out there for more than an hour or so. Okay, fine, but I'm coming too. Are you sure? I can handle this, Lyric. If you're going, I'm going. Can't let you do something irresponsible without a little support. Besides, it might be good to have something fresh on the menu for tonight. All we have up at the end are leftovers. Alright then, I'm just about ready to cast off. You know, my folks don't think this rain is ever gonna let up, and if I'm honest, I'm starting to agree. Well, that's a sour thought. What a way to start our pleasant little fishing excursion. Sorry, hard to think about anything else in the middle of a downpour. How are you holding up, Lyric? You're always so busy keeping the inn running. We don't spend much time just talking like we used to. I'm okay. When it rains every day, you get used to it pretty quickly. I'm just a little worried about the future. Yeah, me too. There are a lot of unknowns ahead of us. But maybe that's just part of getting older. Realizing there are some things out of our control, and taking the next step is all we can do. When did Graham Dunnet become such a philosopher? Being on the lake with you brings it out of me. Not much else to do out here when the fish aren't biting. About that, if we don't have some luck soon, I think we might have to call it. I'll need to get home and dry off before starting dinner. Agreed. Let's give it another 10 minutes and then row back to shore. I'm not sure there's ever been this much water in my boots. Well, we tried. I enjoyed the company, even if it wasn't our day. I've still got to pack up the boat and all my tackle, but happy to walk you back to town first if you're ready to go. If you don't mind. Sure, if you don't mind the extra trip. Alrighty. And we are... Okay. So... what do we need to do? Talking. Alright, yours must have been ringing. I just mentioned you to my brother, how I've been needing to talk to you.
Huh?
What is it, Brianna? Something good, I hope? Mostly, or, well, it's complicated. As you know, our old man left the village a couple years ago. Retirement, I suppose the word is. As much as he loved this workshop, it was the right decision. I don't think his old bones would appreciate all this freezing rain. Anyway, the other day received a letter from him wondering how we were getting along, asking after everyone, the usual fare, except included in the envelope was a small silver key, and with it a short explanation about a chest he left behind in Pyreside. A chest? What was inside? Come on, Lyric, I'll show you. Isaac and I were terribly curious, as you'd expect. We wasted no time popping open the chest to take a look, and what did we find? Gold, a heaping pile of it. Hundreds and hundreds of coins my old man has stashed away. Money he'd be saving up for years. But why? And why didn't he take it with him? See, he doesn't really think of it as his. He says it belongs to Pyreside, in case something like Windmill or Piers are ever needed again. Lyric, I want you to take it. Isaac and I agree that would be best.
Oh.
What? Why me? Brianna, that gold was left for you by your father. There's no way I could take it. Haven't you been listening? It's not my gold or Isaac's or even my old man's. This gold belongs to the whole village. and the village needs you, Lyric. You have to face facts. Right now, the Sleepy Dragon is the only thing keeping Pyreside afloat. I don't think that's true. Don't you? Because before Thomas walked in today, we hadn't seen a customer in weeks. Weeks, kid. I'm still hoping things will turn around for Pyreside. I really am. But in the meantime, you're the only one of us seeing any business. So, you got two options. Be a clever girl, take the coins and spend them on the upkeep of the inn. Or refuse and leave the stash with us. I won't force it on you. Isaac and I will save it for a rainy day. Or a rainier day, I suppose. Yeah. Brianna, I don't know what to say. I promise I'll put it to good use. Please tell Donovan how deeply I appreciate this. Atta girl. I'm confident you'll use it wisely, and confident it's what my old man wants his treasure used for. The good of the village. The good of the village. The fate of Pyreside. You know, that's a lot of pressure you're dumping on my shoulders. I do know. I also know you can handle it. Thanks, Brianna. Truly. Okay. I wonder if now we can go back to the inn or not. Let's maybe not. Not sure what else there is to do. Oh. Need to push tables together to prepare for dinner. Probably shouldn't wait too much longer. Yeah. I think we're good now. How tasty. There's nothing like a warm, hearty meal on a rainy day. Thank you for all your hard work, little Lyric. Oh, you're welcome. It truly isn't anything special. I really only had leftovers to work with, so I'm glad it all turned out. More than turned out, I say. Best meal I've had in weeks, Lyric. Agreed. But a little rude to say in front of your sister, don't you think? Sister who cooked up your favorite curry stew 2 nights ago. Oh, that stew was delicious, Brianna. I put your leftovers on the stove today for lunch. Thank you for sharing them. Was it the same stew you made for Winterfest last year? Sorry, Brie, I simply can't stomach that stuff. Far too spicy for decent folk. Decent folk, huh? That's what you are you, Kelsey? Last I checked, decent folk don't cheat at cards. Cheating? This wild accusation again. Lyric, tell your sister I haven't cheated at anything my entire life. Go on, tell her. Well, there was that game of hops, or when you flirted with that book merchant for a discount, or when we played Heroes and Slimes as kids. Conjecture, all of it. Been nothing but truthful and mannerly in all the years of our friendship. Such a betrayal. First day I came to Pyreside, the day of, well, you all know. I recall a pair of brazen mischief makers and a broken bottle of wine. That was someone else, I presume. Must have been. Sorry, Bern. I don't recall that in the least. Well, I damn sure recall it. I took the blame for the two of you and got in a heap of trouble. That must have been terrifying. I imagine you were quite intimidating back then, Mr. Byrne. No offense intended, of course. Suppose I came off as a mite prickly. Folks have said as much once or twice over the years. Come on then, show us how much you've changed, you old grump. How's about sharing your very best joke? A joke? That's what he said. You've heard of jokes, haven't you? Well, okay then. Why did, how did I start it again? Why do watermelons always have large weddings? Why? Because they can't, wait, that's not quite right. They aren't watermelons, muskmelons. That's what they are. Right. Why do muskmelons have large weddings? This is gonna be good. Because they can't elope.
Well...
No good? Somehow worse than I could have imagined. I don't know, I kinda liked it. It reminds me of that old joke Buck Finn used to read. Charming in a wrong-worthy way. Can't elope. I just got it. They can't elope. Good one, Burn. Well, there you go. At least it made Isaac laugh. Not sure that's a great measure for the quality of the joke, but it's something. Not a high bar. The hardest I've ever seen your brother laugh was when we were dating and a pile of bird droppings landed in my hair. Oh, that's so gross.
Oh.
So, little Lyric, there was something we wanted to speak to you about. Something on our minds. Why so serious all of a sudden, Mr. William? And who do you mean? What? All of you? Well, sort of. Yeah. It's something that's come up recently among all of us. This freezing rain doesn't seem likely to let up anytime soon. If this is how the skies look in midsummer, well, we all just think... Oh, just spit it out, will you? Y'all think we should leave Pyreside? Aye. We all think we should leave Pyreside. No, I won't. This place is my home. Lyric. No. Adventurers still come through these mountains. Not as often, but they do. They need the sleepy dragon to stay open. I told you all she wouldn't listen. Gets to have her own opinion on the matter. Not if it's a brainless opinion. Lyric, none of the rest of us have had any customers for weeks. What do you want us to do? We're broke. She's right, little Lyric. This should be peak growing season and we've barely been able to harvest ridge barley, let alone any real vitals. This isn't an easy decision for any of us. I've lived in this village for half a century, but it's time to face the harsh truth. I won't stop you from leaving, but I can't go. Mom and Dad and Nana didn't take care of this place for so long for me to abandon it now. Lyric, Elise, think it over, please. You too, Isla. Is there anyone here who's not in on this? I'm with you, Lyric, but we should at least hear them out. There's no sides here. This isn't about who's right and who's wrong. This is about everyone's well-being, everyone's future. My future is here. If yours isn't, then I guess that's that. There it is. See how little she cares about what the rest of us think? Kelsey, hush. If you all want to sit around and bang your head against the wall, be my guest. But I know that stubborn look in her eye. I think everyone needs to calm down. Yeah, that's a good idea. We can finish the lovely dinner Lyric has so kindly prepared for us all and come back to the topic later. I don't have much of a stomach for food anymore.
Kelsey and Isla and William and the rest. That night I felt deceived by them all, conspired against. As if the whole village had formed an alliance behind my back, whispering amongst each other for days leading up to a carefully constructed conversation. Childish. They all cared about me. Simple as that.
Listen, you're like a daughter to me, Lyric. I love you and I respect you. Truly I do. But you need to think this decision over, fully. With respect back to you, Mr. William, I have. The Sleepy Dragon has remained open every day for nearly 100 years, and it's going to stay open as long as I'm breathing. Be reasonable, girl. There's no future for Pyreside with that shadow looming over these mountains. No future for any of us here. Mayhap someday we can come back to this village, rebuild. The spirit of the inn and of your folks will live on so long as you do. You'll be putting your life in danger if you stay, not to mention the life of my only remaining son. He'll surely stand by you. I'm sorry, I am, but it isn't just our lives at stake. The adventurers that pass through the mountains need this inn. They need me. Well, I hope you're right. Otherwise, you'll be sacrificing a whole hell of a lot of nothing. Oh, little Lyric, you know you've grown up to be just like your mother. So resolute and so very stubborn. I'm going to take that as a compliment, Miss Molly. I meant it as one. I love your mother dearly, as I love you. It's why the thought of saying goodbye is such a tough one to swallow. Promise me you'll take care of yourself, won't you? I'll be fine. I've run this inn on my own for a long time. Indeed you have. I would have been so proud of you. Our little Lyric. This inn must be really important to you. My parents knew you'd be the hardest one to convince, but they still thought they could. Hazel, this place, you don't have to say anything to me. It's important to you. That's fine. I'm just gonna miss you. I'll miss you too. Look after your folks for me, would you? I will. I'll look after them like you've always looked after me ever since I was little. I promise. Hey, you know we all care about you, don't you? So everyone keeps saying, I'm not a kid anymore, Brianna. I can take care of myself and the whole village if I have to. That's what you think this is about? I know that. We all know that. You're one of the most capable women I've ever known. But none of us knows what's coming. The thought of something happening to you is almost too much to bear. This responsibility you're taking on is far heavier than any hammer. I know you can carry it, but it won't be easy. I'm not gonna try to change your mind, kid. I'll leave that to the others. I've never been great with words anyway. But you should know this is tearing your sister up. You know she'll be a burden to you if she stays, and she hates herself for it. Isla understands how you feel about this place better than anyone, so she won't begrudge your decision at all, but it hurts. Take care of her, Isaac, please. You really think you have to ask? Your Sestra is safe with me. It's one thing you don't have to worry about. You'll be okay, kid. Keep that chin up. Lyric. Perhaps it's not my place, but as your friend, I must ask that you can reconsider staying. Through all my travels, I've never seen anything like this blighted weather. Logic deems on even deeper cold is on the way. I'm sorry, Thomas. I appreciate your warning, but that's exactly why the sleepy dragon has to remain open. I understand. You're a brave woman, Lyric. Any adventurer still bold enough to journey this way will be lucky for it. I've known you a long time, girl, and I respect you far too much to think I could change your mind on this, or your heart. I'll begin collecting supplies and tools that might be of use. If you truly are staying in Pyreside, you need to prepare for the worst. Fern, I thank you. Is that a black... Are you taking my dog, or is that your dog? Got the wrong dog, Fern. Go back. Isla, I'm not going to change my mind. Don't be dense, Benno. I know that. Of course I know that. We both know why I can't stay. I would be a burden to you here. It makes sense. It's poetic in a cruel sort of way. I left Pyreside all those years ago, even though you begged me not to. And now, every fiber of my being wants to stay, and the best way to protect you is to leave. I love you, Isla. Thank you for understanding. Oh, don't get all mushy on me. There'll be plenty of times for that later, but listen. You're not gonna wisdom from your big sister. Kelsey is upset. She's an emotional girl and takes everything personally. She's going to say things she doesn't mean. Don't let a few harsh words cost you a friendship, okay? Be patient with her, no matter what thoughtless things come out of her mouth. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. We're sisters, you and me. Nothing can ever break that bond. Not rain, not the shadow, and not any amount of distance between us. I know. Thanks, Isla. Here we go. Is it my turn? Do I get to go last in the sad parade? All your friends and family desperately trying to convince you to do the right thing, but I know you better than any of them. Kelsey? No. What are you possibly going to say? You'll just try to justify your stubbornness, but you can't, not to me. You'll talk and make me feel like the bad guy. You've always done that, ever since we were kids. I was always the villain, the brat. Kelsey, I understand how you feel, but this inn, keeping this place open for adventurers who need a safe place to rest, it's important. And I'm not important, our friendship isn't important, because that's what's at stake here, you know. This isn't some holiday trip. We're packing everything up and moving away. Me and Bern and Brianna and Molly, all of us. If you stay here, it means none of us are worth it to you. It means my friendship isn't worth it to you. Of course, that's not what it means, Kelsey. I'm not making this choice for myself, or for you, or for any of us. There are people out there who need this place, heroes who need this place. Mom and Dad and Nana believe that with all their hearts. I can't let them down. Do you think this is what they would have wanted for the little girl to selfishly abandon her best friend? Kelsey, please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? How am I supposed to feel? How am I supposed to live somewhere else? You won't be there. You could stay. We could find a way to make this work. Together. Lyric. My dad fell. I got a letter from the temple clerics last week. He's okay. It doesn't sound terribly serious. The oaf just slipped stepping out of the bath. But he's not getting any younger, you know. He doesn't have anyone looking after him in that whole big city. He says not to worry, but, well, you know how it was with your Nina, especially towards the end. Imagine being half a world away when she needed you most. Kelsey, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Duh, how could you? I can't stay here in Pyreside, and I know you can't leave. So that puts our friendship in a tricky spot. Well, don't you have anything else to say? Just that I love you, Kelsey, and I won't feel right here without you. Yeah, well, I love you too, even if you are a big dummy. Listen, look after this place as best as you can, alright? You're not the only one who cares about this village, after all. But if you end up putting yourself in danger for the sake of some dub adventurers, I'm going to be really irritated. Got it? Got it. Thought of your annoyed face will keep me up at night. Good. Take care of yourself, Lyric. I don't know how you're going to get along without your best friend watching your back, but please try. Hey, Lyric, are you alright? That was pretty rough. What are you going to do, Graham? Are you going to leave too? What? Leave Pyreside without you? Come on, Lyric. I hadn't even considered it. My place is here. It's just your whole family's going. I don't want you to feel like you have to stay just because I'm being stubborn or selfish. You're my wife. There's nowhere else I'd rather be than by your side. Not because you're stubborn. Not because you're selfish. Because I love you. I'll say it again. My place is here. Now, I believe you promised Ender a walk. Are you ready?
Words aren't enough to describe true love. Brighter folks than me have tried. Poets and minstrels. What I felt for Graham, what I feel for him still, it's personal and deep and doltish at times. It steadies me in moments of doubt. A well of hope and strength beyond my own. Words aren't enough.
We'll have to work on the whole fetching thing. It's only our first day together after all. There's plenty of time to learn. Lyric, everything's going to be okay. As long as we're together, we can handle anything life throws at us. You sure you want to stay? There's so much uncertainty here. I've been uncertain of a lot of things in my life, going all the way back to the night of that first storm. If I'd only been there to protect Finn. Graham. Since then, it's been an endless series of questions. What to do if the shadows came back? How do I protect the people I love? Everything is questions. Everything is uncertainty. Everything. Except this. Except you. I'm with you, Lyric. Heart, soul, and whatever else. I've never been more sure of anything in my entire life. Now come on. Cinder is gonna need some serious training.
Kelsey and the others were true to their word. By summer's end, they'd gathered what belongings they could and arranged a caravan for transport. In spite of myself, I felt my heart sink as I watched them go. Isla for the second time. Friends, family, fading away into the world beyond the bridge. And who could fault them? Graham and I met that first winter with purpose. With little else to distract us, we stockpiled food, blankets, firewood, crates full of midnight milk. We laid fresh thatching and boarded up windows till our muscles ached. Wouldn't be enough, of course. Perhaps part of me knew it at the time. But I was hopeful, awaiting a spring that would never come.
Alrighty, so we adopted the male dog. We lost at Kelsey's Peak and Valleys. We accepted Donovan's gold. We went fishing with Graham. We kept the orcs and Pyrocyde. There was a conversation with Hazel that we didn't do. We served old leftovers for dinner, and we refused to fight with Kelsey. Save. Seven years later. Good boy, Cinder. Bringing rabbit meat is better than nothing. I can barely feel my toes. About time to head back. Alright, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. If you enjoy this video, please leave a like. And if you want to see more of this series or any other video game series that I've been doing, please subscribe. I try to upload daily, and I will see you in the next one.